Hi, I'm Lady Charmaine, and welcome to the Lady Charmaine Live Show. And I have another special guest with me today on the show. My guest today says that he can read your mind and know what you're thinking. He's a platinum selling recording artist who probably have many babies named after him. He was also dubbed the voice of Ghetto Soul. And he's here today to talk about his TV One Unsung episode, The Story of Avant. Help me welcome R&B crooner to the Lady Charmaine Live Show, Mr. Avant. Welcome to the show.
Yo, what up? I'm happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Well, I'm glad to have you on the show as well. Well, I'm really excited because now you have a TV One Unsung episode that's going to be about Avant, all things Avant, this coming Sunday. But I wanted to ask you a question. To
hmm
me, you're like one of the youngest I think I've seen because you're only like, what, 43, 44 years old, and you already have an Unsung. Were you surprised to get the call from Unsung that they wanted to do a story on you?
Yeah, I was pretty much surprised, but it was something that needed to happen because I've been in the game for like 19 years, so
Mm-hmm.
it's about that time. And when they called, I said, why not? I got a story to tell.
Well, absolutely. So we're going to find out a whole lot about you this coming Sunday. Although I got a chance to screen it before a lot of people have, so I learned quite a bit about you. But first, I wanted to talk to you because I found out that you come from a family, I believe, of six. So that's a pretty large family. So what was it like for you being brought up in a
Yeah,
family of six, and what was the music culture like in your household?
it was pretty interesting actually. It's three boys and three girls. I'm like the the, the last boy, and the second youngest. But it was fun because everybody had a musical background because we all had to go to church, and we all sung in church. And at the end of the day, mom made sure everybody was in line. But I got to watch my brothers go through things, and I can actually have a gauge. I was able to gauge what was right and what was wrong. And she would always tell me, like, you see what's happening right here, so you don't want to go this far. So the nature of it all is I was pretty lucky to have that gauge with my brothers.
So what was like your musical influences? What kind of music did your mother listen to in the household?
Yeah, she listened to a lot of Sam Cooke, Marvin Gaye,
Hmm.
some of the classic R&B artists, and also my uncle. He was an entertainer too. He never made it. His name was Scotty. His name was actually Andrew Pittman, and he man, oh man, he was amazing, and he the one gave me that itch to want to be in the music game, honestly. But yeah, she listened to a lot of the true classical, R&B, like before my era.
Hmm.
It was the Marvin Gaye's and the Sam Cooks and those guys. So I got to know exactly. I had a good education on what R&B was.
Okay. So now we know that you are definitely an R&B crooner. How did your musical career begin? I know you were able to hook up with Magic Johnson later on in your career, but what were those first steps for you to begin in the musical business?
Oh, the first steps were pretty rough. I had to push seeds out of my trunk, and I was in Cleveland. I was going through musical groups at one point. But then I said I met up with a guy in Chicago. His name was Eric Payton, and we actually said, forget it. We're just gonna, try this thing out. He had a great relationship with radio up in Chicago.
Hmm.
So I started recording some pretty good records, and he had them playing on the radio. And I was like, wow. So he was like, yeah, we can take this thing as far as we want to. So that's what my main focus was after doing the group thing, because I went through about three or four groups, and
Mm.
it just wasn't going to work.
So you knew you were a solo artist then. And then Magic Johnson came into your life and then something happened. So tell us about that connection with Magic Johnson.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. I put out a record called Separated, and
Hmm.
everybody I had a lot of labels calling.
Hmm.
And it was like, wow, what should I do? Who should I choose? But I was a huge NBA fan as well, so I said, yo, Magic, he just opened up a label, so Magic was hot as fire at that point. So I said,
Right.
let me see what he's doing over there. So he flew me out to LA, and I saw a picture of him and Larry Bird. I'm like, wow, in his office. I'm like, wow, this is where I want to be. You know what I mean? So
Right, right.
he sold me before even he sold me with the pictures. But it was kind of cool because he told me, yo, you know what you're doing. He said, I heard your material. You know what you're doing. He was like, I'm not gonna get in your way, and that's what really sold me. So I'm not gonna get anywhere. I'm gonna let you do what you do. So I was like, all right, cool. This is perfect for me. So I end up signing with the big man.
Now, I know your music is very sexual and very sensual. And we're going to go through some of your songs like we know Separated. And I love the story behind Separated. Can you tell the audience briefly about the inspiration behind that song?
Well, Separated was a true story. I got my heart broke.
Mhm.
I was a youngster. I was probably 17, 16, 17. She was probably like 21, 22, something like that. And I thought I had everything figured out. And my mom was telling me, yo, you barking up a tree you don't want to bark up. But I was like, I'm cool. I'm all right. I can make this happen. And she broke my heart. And it made me, it really wasn't supposed to be a actual song. It was a poem. I was just
Mm.
writing it to get it off my heart. And my manager was like, "No, you got to make this out of a song." I'm like, "Man, nobody want to hear my growing pains." And then once I released it, I found out I wasn't the only one hurting.
Mhm.
So it was
Mhm.
kind of cool. I had like a cult following the people that was feeling the same way I was. So it also showed me how to record records and what mattered to people.
Mm.
So I started being engulfed in just how to write records that matter to people. So it was kind of cool.
So now we're going to move on to another sexy song called Read Your Mind. Now I have a question for you. When your mama or grandmama heard your
Hmm.
song Read Your Mind, what was going through their mind? What did they say to you? Did they
You
say
know what?
anything? Hmm.
They never told. They never expressed that. I had one record with my mother. She loved. It's called Feast. It's deeper than Read Your Mind.
Mm.
But she was like, "Wow." She said, "I know you get this from your mama." I said, "Oh wow." You know what I mean? But it's it's one of them things. I try to pull from everything. And
Uh-huh.
Read Your Mind was me in a nightclub shooting pool,
Mm-hmm.
and a young girl was looking at me like she wanted to eat me up. So I was like, wow. I started looking at her like, I can read your mind, baby. And I just
All
started
right
singing.
now. You
The
keep you
manager
can
was
keep
like, what
going,
are
keep
you?
going, keep going.
He was like, what are you singing? He was like, what are you singing? I'm like, man, just be quiet. You know what I mean? So
Mm.
I just kept singing the song, and it was like, wow. Next thing you know, we was recording it.
Okay, well, so you see what happened with that. It's still a classic today. So thank God for that sister. You need,
Yeah, it's a
you need to
blessing.
take out to eat or something. Tell her thank you.
Exactly. I don't even know who she was.
I never got a chance to meet her because we know that song is timeless. But then you hooked up with a young lady by the name of Kiki Wyatt. And from there, both of you guys have such chemistry when you guys go into the studio. How did you meet Kiki? Because she was pretty young. What was she, about 16?
She was extremely young. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
she was 15 years old when I met her. I
Mm.
was in Chicago recording my first album, and my producer at the time was like, "Yo, I got a girl that's perfect to sing that song that you want to do." And I was like, "Well, okay, that's fine." And she came in, such a little girl. I'm like, "Wow, she's so young." He's like, "Trust me, when she get behind the mic, you gonna understand." So she starts singing a song. She never heard the record and sung it like a diva, like unbelievable. So I was like, wow. It threw me back because I was like, her voice is so mature and so strong, and she did her thing, and it happened.
Yeah, you guys have. I mean, you guys should do a whole album together. I think y'all should just do an entire duet album together because the chemistry there is so strong. Now, you have been compared to R. Kelly. What have some of the challenges been for you to be compared to another great singer? Did you have any challenges with that? I mean, your
Uh-huh.
look, your image, or even your
Oh,
sound to be compared to him?
yeah, it was pretty tough. But my whole thing was he was already established. So
Mm-hmm.
my thing was, I mean, I can't stop myself from looking like someone. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? I'm not
Mm-hmm.
trying to sound like this guy,
Mm-hmm.
but everybody would, especially when you're trying to, improve or get better in an industry, they always have to link you up to something that reminds them of something or somebody. So you're always going to be compared to,
Right.
or
Right.
so the whole nature of it was, I was like, in my mind, I was like, I got to keep working because I can't keep, I can't like do one record and then he's doing 100 records and everybody's just focusing on him because every time I come out, they'll say, "Wow, man, that's that dude that sound like," you know what I mean? So what I
Right.
did was I continued to write and continue to stay focused till they stopped putting the comparison out there. It's like, oh, I know who Avant is. I know, I already know who Rob is. So that was the nature for me. It was just like keep working, let them know your tone of voice, what type of music you like to do. And now everybody know our music is different. You know what I
Right.
mean? It's like
Mm-hmm.
he a little more raunchier than what I would do, but I'm more sensual in that lane.
Okay. Now I know the music business has changed quite a bit. Hip hop came in, of course, R&B. Do you think that R&B is kind of like on life support right now? Where do you think music is right now? Because I know in your career as music began to change, um, you had to kind of change with the times a little bit too. What was the difficulty for you to change with the times as music began to change?
Well, I think and I tell people this all the time. I can't hate on what the youngsters are doing. I
Mm-hmm.
understand. I bet you in our time it was the elders of other years saying, man, they messing music up. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? So
Mm-hmm.
I understand the music has to take that change. It has to do that. So what my whole focus is, understand that you hold a torch. I don't care who has the torch. You hold a torch and you have to keep it lit because we have to keep this thing going.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I just seen a picture of Nat King Cole. I'm like, wow, like we're in the same industry with these people. So my whole thing is you have to make sure that you keep the integrity of what we're doing. That's if anything I could tell the youngsters, that's what I would say. Keep your integrity and keep everything going, in a legit fashion. So right now it's in a rough area, but I think that you still have some good artists, and it's all about them coming together and understanding. This is not a microwave situation. This is you gotta really put time in this. Understand you want to make legendary music, not something that you might not listen to in a couple weeks. So that's where we got to get back to the legendary music.
Now, I learned quite a bit about you again. You were dropped from several labels. You know, you put an album out, and if it doesn't do as well, then you end up getting dropped. What is that like for the ego, to get dropped from several labels? How do you pick yourself back up?
Well, you just got to, I'm a man. At the end
Mm-hmm.
of the day, I'm a man, and I have to make things happen. I have to make things work. So,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, being told no is just saying yes to me.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So it's always just that focus of, you have to make things happen. There's no no. You
Okay.
know what I mean? There's no way to stop doing this. You have to keep going.
Now, what do you want the audience to take away from watching your Unsung episode this Sunday?
Just a guy that will not will always fight for what he believe in, and always will give you the best that he has.
Mm-hmm.
And try to be fair to everyone in their situation, but it's all about great music. I always wanted to put out something that resonated to the people,
Mm-hmm.
gave the people what they wanted. So that was my main focus.
And what else can we expect to see from you this year, 2018?
Well, I actually invested in this book that's out right now. It's called Trial of Mankind, written by Vince Dixon. Vincent Dixon. It's very very good. It's about how us as humans mistreat animals. And I'm not an animal activist at all. I just thought that the idea was great because it's in rhythm and rhyme, and it's talking about a young man that goes out hunting for the first time to feed his family. But when he hunt in this forest, it's enchanted, and the animals can speak back to him. So it's like kids and adults alike. So if you ever get a chance, grab, and it's a great read. It's called The Trial of Mankind.
The Trial of Mankind. It's not like that's going to be
And
turned like
also,
into a movie or something.
yeah, that's where we're shooting for.
Okay, I
And
can see that.
also, I got this year. Yeah, I'm gonna definitely do an album and get it
Mm-hmm.
out there and let everybody enjoy the smooth sounds of Avant.
Okay, well, I know that's right. Well, Avant, I want to say thank you so much for coming on the show. And I want to remind the audience to make sure that you tune in this Sunday to TV One. To TV One Unsung, the story of Avant is going to be coming on 9/8 Central. So make sure you go ahead and check it out. And Avant, it was truly a pleasure having you on the show. And I look forward to having you back.
Oh, thank you for having me. And also hit me up on Instagram and Twitter at Avant Music, and on Facebook just Avant.
All right. Well, I look forward to following you on social media. And again, thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye bye.